All right, we're recording November 21st, 2024.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy, yeah, li- time of focusing on gratitude.
Yeah,
And we're going to go Facebook Live, and congratulations on your article being published.
that was
And
so fun.
yeah, that was great. We could talk about that a little bit too.
Sure.
All
Sure.
right.
Yeah, that was my big thing this week that I told everyone about. But it's funny because it happened back in September. And then I was like, oh, it's here now. Okay, yay.
Yeah, perfect too. And you've seen some traffic and everything.
Yeah, I mean it's so fun because lots of people that from my graduating class and my time at Muhlenberg just popping in and saying hi on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff. And so that's been really fun to just sort of reconnect with other fellow alums.
Right, right. Well, good. I'm glad you're seeing some traffic. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and I feel like since we're a little ahead of schedule,
Yeah.
imagine we could just get in there and kind of just start chatting and
Yeah.
let people start to jump on, right? So let's go
Yes, for sure.
do it. Okay. So let me do now live on Facebook. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Five,
Your
four,
glasses are so
two,
cool, by the way.
one. Oh, so another pair of reading glasses. Thank
I
you.
love it.
Well, that's what happens when you become of age. All right,
Yes,
here.
my husband just got his first pair of glasses, and his prescription is so light that if there's the slightest amount of dirt on his glasses, he's like, it's better if he just isn't wearing them. So he's like meticulous about cleaning his lenses.
Aw, it's
It's
great.
really cute.
Well, yeah. So we're on Facebook Live. I want to hear about this
Hi.
article.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks. Wait, I'm supposed to see. So are we on Facebook Live on Barbara Bottolotti? Because I want to follow it so I can follow it on my phone. And I want to make sure that I'm seeing it there. Because if I,
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Happy holidays as we start to kick this off.
yeah. But yeah, no, the article was great. I was able to, I don't know, I put a little note in the class notes section, like alumni, you know, colleges have that sort of thing where you just like stick up a class note. And I got a call a couple days later because, they have all of my information because that's my alma mater and I donate. And they called me and said, would you mind if would you be interested in being featured in this last page section? And I was like, yeah, it sounds fun. And it was fun. It was really fun to talk to someone and just solidify what I was doing and getting
So,
some
what are you
more
doing? Tell
traction.
everybody what you're doing, and then we'll jump into our successful sleep during the holidays.
You yeah, no, I started a podcast, right? So I started this podcast because I couldn't sleep and I could not find the tool that I needed to help me sleep. So I thought that it would exist. Like it just made so much sense to me that somebody reading off lists, a little bit of like nice, soothing, relaxing music, like that already would exist in the universe. And it didn't. And it definitely didn't for um free consumption, right? Like to try it out. So maybe it exists in some of the expensive apps that you have to download, but it did not exist where I wanted it to be. And so I just decided to start a podcast and make that happen. And so we just finished season 2. And we're getting ready for season 3. But before that, we're going to have a couple holiday episodes. So there'll be a Thanksgiving episode this Thursday where I list things that I'm grateful for because that's my favorite part of the holiday is being filled with gratitude. And then we'll have a Christmas episode too, which will be kind of fun.
Yeah, can you just check and make sure we're on Facebook? I'm sure we are. I know from my book tour and
Ah,
going all across the country. Are we?
yeah, it just went live. I've been waiting for it to go live and to be able to see us. And so it's finally here, and I can be like, hi, everyone, in
Yeah,
the
so what I
comments.
noticed on the book tour, speaking of gratitude, is I was so fulfilled by connecting and being with so many friends and loved ones and family
Yes.
throughout the country. And that was fulfilling in many other ways too, getting to see certain parts of the country and just having the whole experience, connect
Yeah.
even with strangers and so on. So yeah, this time of gratitude, this time of recognizing everything that we have to be grateful for. And for me, that was a real turning point. I really embodied fulfillment. Really, yeah,
Yay.
really embodied that gratitude. And I just was crying on my way back because I was just so overwhelmed in gratitude. And I don't know when I'm going to see everybody again, which kind of leads us into this holiday because we are getting to usually be with people that we either haven't seen in a while or maybe just haven't had time to have a nice dinner with, or whatever the tradition or occasion may be. But you and I are really big proponents of sleep. And so
Yes.
so I'm Barbara Bottolotti. I am the author of Sleep Blissful, Natural Ways to Fall Asleep, Stay Asleep, and Wake Refreshed, and also barbarabottolotti.com. I do a lot of speaking engagements all over the country and workshops and retreats, not just for sleep, but for all kinds of well-being.
Yes, and I'm Helen Cernat. I am the host and voice of sleeplist.com. You can find that podcast there, and also more information and resources about sleep and the blog that goes along with the podcast. I speak at engagements as well, mostly about the healing power and the amazing work that can be done through sleep and neuroplasticity, and the idea that we can change our lives and adapt whenever we need to with the
Yeah, and
right
there's a
tools.
lot of adapting during the holidays. Let's kick off with the hustle and bustle because we got a lot of feedback from people that just the just this hustle bustle of everything that has to be done. And so one of the things that we came across is know thyself. So do you want to kind of start off with know thyself and what to
Know
do?
thyself. Yes, know thyself. Know what you love about the holidays, what is going to cause you stress, and as a result, you can start to figure out, okay, what can I do? Like take care of, put on my to-do list, and what on my to-do list can I maybe give to somebody else? Because like maybe I hate cooking, but they love it. Um, or, gift giving, you can make that simpler. If that's not your jam, if you hate shopping, like it is okay. Harry and David are there for you, or whoever else you want to, use. But yeah, that is my thought process is just know yourself, know what you really want to get out of the holidays, what you love to do, and then be able to think about how you can either do those things and enjoy them, delegate those things to somebody else who will enjoy them, delay them because you have a great story about delaying, so I'll let you tell that. And then the last thing to do is just drop it. It might not be necessary, and if you can get rid of some things on your to-do list, that frees you up to be present and in the moment. But tell your
Yeah,
delayed story. I love your
yeah,
delayed story.
yeah. I'm going to just go through because you said do it now, do
Yep.
it later, drop it, or delegate it. And as far as that goes, I mean, I am overwhelmed with Christmas cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided that I will have more time and more enjoyment in being able to share with people that greeting during Valentine's Day. So I just shifted it over a few months later. I know that people sometimes will do a New Year's card, and who doesn't want a little bit of greeting? I mean, and it doesn't even have to be a mailer anymore. I mean, there's other ways. There's beautiful platforms that have seasonal cards and electronically. So I think again, sometimes we just have to shift maybe how we used to do something. Really know thyself. Know
Mm-hmm.
if taking out, doing cards is really fulfilling and joyful because you get to decide, and we're giving you permission to maybe decide by one, knowing yourself and maybe changing things around a little bit. so that, or like you said, dropping it. So yeah, that was one thing. And also know thyself and what you need to do for your health and your self-care, and being okay with that as well. It's okay to say no to a party. It's okay to say no to anything that, again, may cause you resentment or stress or craziness. Nobody wants to see that anyway. And we've all been around people as well as ourselves, and it's just not what it's about. So
Yeah.
we get to change that and shift it around a little bit. And again, it's knowing thyself. So one of the things that is another example of this is, I love my family. And when I was growing up, especially in my young adulthood, we'd have our family gatherings, and I am a fitness person. I'm a health person. So of course I would always bring a salad, whether I was the only one that ate it or not. But slowly people would, have a little bit on their full plates. And
Yeah.
then I also was like, even though it was Michigan, it was cold, or it might even have been snowing. It was, even if I could just get the kids out to go sledding, or sometimes I'd have the sister-in-law that would go for a walk with me after dinner before dessert. So those are some things too, that maybe there's something in your own health habit that you could start to implement in your family traditions or with other people that you get together with. So for instance, we a lot of times want to get together with friends. And so we go to lunch and we have coffee, and well, what if you were to meet for a walk? So, or a craft, or do cards together, or whatever. So anything you want to say about that, as far as like know thyself in a healthy way?
Well, I mean, yes, it's like you're saying yes to yourself, right? So when you say no to some things, you're saying yes to your health and your well-being. My in-laws are very introverted. It's the polar opposite of the household that I grew up in, where it's very extroverted. And there's even one Thanksgiving where we went from one side to the other. There was a wedding at his family, so we were able to go to the place of it, like we were in driving distance as a result, and the whole family was together in different parts of Michigan. Very exciting. But as a result, we did huge boisterous, like Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and then we went to his family, and it was super chill. Like there was one conversation happening among like 25 people. Like it was it was bizarre to me. It was so amazing. But one of the things that I really like about my in-laws family traditions is that when it's like a slightly smaller group, sort of the nuclear family Christmas morning kind of stuff, we after all the presents are open, there's like almost everybody always gets a book. And so there's this really nice period of time where we just like rest and we read. And
Love.
it's not the same as going for a walk. We do that too. We love it. But it's just really like everyone's together with each other, but we're all engaged in our own thing. And it's just the joy of being with each other and in each other's space without having to demand anything of one another. And
Love
it's
that.
yeah, it's something that they've done like for a long time, but it was like, I will continue to do this forever. I love it.
Yeah, and there was some celebrity that like takes her Pilates class every single morning. And so Christmas Eve or whenever it was, the granddaughters were staying, right? All the family was staying at her house. And so she was like, okay, 8 o'clock, we're going to Pilates class. And the granddaughters were like, can't we sleep in? So, sometimes you do have to be the inspired initiator, and then maybe it is something that's really quiet. I love that about the books. That's really great. So we covered the do it now, do it later, drop it, delegate it, know thyself. Another one is to communicate. I think this is probably the most important thing. So let's say, yes, you know thyself. And yes, you've decided on a few other things this year that may shift around or be a little bit different because of your self-love, self-respect, knowing that you're a better person when you do make those few adjustments. And so then you've got to communicate it. And you might even have to gather some advocates along you, or so Do you want to kick that off
Yeah,
too?
I will. Mine is over the years, our family has become basically a dry family. So we don't drink as much in our household. Health reasons, medical reasons, all kinds of things. As a result, whenever we go somewhere, we're in charge of bringing cool, fun, non-alcoholic cocktails. And that's our way of communicating to everyone, like, we're here to celebrate with you, but we're not going to be drinking. And so, we welcome you to share with us in this, and we will share with you, but we'll do it by having our fun non-alcoholic drinks.
Yes. Yes. So I think that's a really, really huge point, because we know that things can happen during the holidays that we don't expect, right? Just be prepared that something might not go well. And also, if you are wanting to start to shift things around, you may have to have that challenging conversation of my baby has to get a nap, or it's really important that the toddler goes to bed at this time, right? So part of sleep is staying consistent. There was just another article that somebody sent to me, and I'm a big proponent of consistency with almost anything, like that 80-20%, right?
Yep.
So that's part of communicating too. And it may be a difficult conversation, and that might be where you need to pull in an advocate or somebody that kind of can support you.
A
And again,
sister, an auntie, somebody else who can be on your side and just be like by your side and at your, like when you're starting to have this conversation about like, no, we can't do all that. We have to keep our sleep schedule. We're 3 hours off of our time zone. The baby doesn't understand. It's so nice to have somebody else who can be like, yeah, it's really hard to travel with an infant. Like, let's make sure that we stay on your schedule, and it's okay if you come to dinner a little later or whatever. It's so
yeah,
nice to have a friend.
and maybe expect that somebody's not going to be accepting or is going to be upset about it. And you may just have to like take a breath and realize that could happen. The other thing too is that whatever you decide is best for you, there's still going to be a little bit of compromise, right?
Right.
And so where could you wiggle a little bit? And again, the more that we can think about these things ahead of time, so turn off the radio or the music or whatever while you're driving, or while you're on a walk, instead of having having a conversation with somebody on your phone, have the conversation with yourself. Okay, what would be the conversation I could have? And I use the three part harmony, and it is knowing what is best for you, being able to communicate that value, and also what you love and appreciate about that other person. Mom, I so love that you still host and you insist on hosting Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, this holiday, and what your value is. And it's really important that I stay somewhat with my health schedule, because it's really hard for me to get back into it a week or two later, including the kids. Then the third part is, are we okay with that? Is there anything that you would like me to respect about this too, that is of a value to you? So I find that type of communication, now you have to think about it before you just go into it, right? So when you're on your walk or your drive and you're kind of thinking, how am I going to bridge this conversation? Come up with that three-part harmony and practice it a little bit, because it's like a new thing, right? If you've always been doing it the same way, if I've always been sending cards and having to go get stamps and spending all this money and trying to fit it in, and it's midnight because I'm still needing to get the cards out, I need to be thinking, okay, how am I going to do this differently this year? And that's
Yeah. And
a big
how
part of
can you,
communication.
I love that. And bringing in everything that you love about the people that you're with too. Like, so it's so important to validate them and talk about how generous they are to you and warm and welcoming, right? Because in general, with our family, we try to love each other, right? As much as possible, unless you've got a toxic person in your family. And I'm sorry if that's the case. That's a different conversation. But that way people know that they're loved and respected, but that you're, and you're trying to reach some sort of compromise, with them. My mother-in-law stopped doing a really big Christmas dinner. And so Christmas Day is like snacks and stuff. And she was like, this is what I want to do now. If you guys want something different, like let me know, or we can work it out, or you can be responsible for it. But like we do something nice for Christmas Eve, but Christmas
Yes,
dinner, done.
I love that. My mom used to do that. At
Hmm.
Christmas Eve, we would have a big buffet and you could kind of come and go as you wanted. Some people went to mass, some people, you know what I mean? Some people had to get there early,
Yes.
then they had to go to the other family. But my mom decided that too. She said, we don't need to have a set time and have a big dinner. And then another thing we did too was have fondue. She started having fondue
That.
parties. And then we could all bring like whatever, whatever piece of the potatoes, the pineapple, the strawberry, and she'd have
Right.
all the different fondue pots. And that was super fun and relaxing and also not heavy. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't a heavy food. So I think too, it's like maybe approach these holidays and these new ways as an adventure that could be really something rewarding that you didn't know. Yeah. And then also let's talk about when things don't go as planned. I learned this from Deepak Chopra, which is stop. S is stop. Okay. The flight is 2 hours late. We're going to miss our connection. I've got all of these, I've got children and okay. So stop, observe. Okay, this whole airport is full of people also stressing out. We're all on our phones. We're trying to figure out what to do. Observe, take a breath, and then proceed. And actually, I missed that. I didn't spell that right. So stop, take a breath, observe, and then proceed. So I find that just that little bit of time to do those steps really does help you reframe and be able to be, again, more proactive, approach things maybe less stressful or with a clear head anyway.
Yes, and you can make a plan. Once you take that breath and just sort of like let your heart rate come down a little, you can make a plan. And one of the tips that I learned a while back with especially holiday travel, but anytime that you're traveling and you're stuck in an airport and maybe it's frenetic and loud and noisy and there's screaming people and there's lots of stuff going on, if you have time, find the chapel in the airport. Almost all airports have a chapel. Nobody ever goes in and uses them. And so they're so nice and quiet. They are like the most quiet places, and like you can actually think. And you don't, I mean, like, you just have to
And maybe
be
pray.
calm. Well, if that's your thing, if you talk to a higher power, find your inner self, like meditate, whatever it is. But if you can center yourself in a quiet space, I mean, it's so much better than just like heading into the bathroom.
I actually found the yoga rooms years ago. Somebody said there's a yoga room. I said, and actually it is, also it's Detroit. So there's a large Muslim population and that's where they go to pray, right?
Yeah.
So that was one little secret I found too. Almost major airports have some sort, not that you want to take the kids and let them run around in the yoga studio, but if nobody else is in there.
No. Find the little play area for them so they can get
Right.
their zoomies out. And then when they're ready to take a nap, y'all head over to like the chapel.
Apple. I love
Yeah.
that. Oh my gosh, that's great. I did not know that. And here I'm an airline person. So let's see. Do we have anything else? Well, we know you may need to use some melatonin and some magnesium and make sure you have the comforts of home when you do travel. Bring your own pillow if you can. Go ahead and do whatever you need to do. Even if you don't use everything, have it with you as that safety net. I think that's super important, especially when we are not in our own environment.
And time zone, man, like being out of your own time zone, and no matter what, when you're in a different time zone and a different environment, you do sleep differently. So anything you can do to remind your body that you're comfortable, that you're safe, is so helpful. A pillow, a stuffy. My mom used to travel with a stuffy, and it sounds silly, but she was a stuffy kind of person. She liked to have a little stuffed animal, and so she would travel with her little stuffed animal, stick it in a bag, and she'd put it in bed with her. Like it absolutely helped her sleep better. So, whatever you need. For me,
Yeah.
it's my night guard. Like I have to have my night guard in. I grind my teeth. And so that's like my binky. I call it almost like my pacifier. I can't sleep without it.
Well, and naps are okay too, especially when you are in
Mhm.
different time zones. And again, we're not talking an hour nap, we're talking 10 to 20 minutes. So even if you're resting and you do maybe your legs up on the sofa cushion or any of those restorative poses, because a 10-minute nap is the equivalent of an hour's worth of sleep. So again, you don't want to conk out but my mom used to just say, we're going to take a little heart rest now. So I think that is a really good tip as well. And just to remember to focus on the joy and the
Yeah.
gratitude and really come from your heart. Like what, how could you transfer love and appreciation to anything or anyone?
And when you have that mindset, you can be more flexible and resilient. It's the ability to sort of think about what really matters, which is, the what's true to your heart and yourself and your well-being, but really, really what matters. And then um, and then you can figure out anything else that you can let go of in different ways. But I think that you become more flexible when you know yourself, and when you're coming from a standpoint of not, why is everything going wrong for me? But from a place of, okay, we're sort of all in this like very precarious boat. How can we make it better?
And let me give everyone a little tip. You could do this right now, possibly. So you're just going to put your hand over your heart. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. Your eyes can be open or closed. Exhale out. Do that 2 more times and really just feel that heart. And each breath, think about what you're grateful for right now, just right now. And again, right now, what can you be grateful for as you just rest your hand over your heart? Good. So use that technique while you're driving, while you're having that stressful conversation, when you're in the airport. No one is going to really pay attention. You could even tuck your hand under your coat or something. No one's really going to pay attention that you have your hand over your heart. But the neurological response from you connecting to your heart and using those deep breaths, which again, no one even needs to know. You could be doing it while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
It will make a big difference in the mind-body connection, as well as your consciousness and the energy, because we know everything is energy. The energy that you're putting out, the world needs that. You
Yeah.
need it. So use that really simple technique and have a lovely, lovely holiday. And we're going to see you again December 12th.
Yes, December 12th. We're going to do part two of thriving during the holidays. And so we'll be back, and we'll have a different background that might be more wintry, but we love this fall background, and we love Thanksgiving and the idea of gratitude and just being grateful for lots of different things in your life. Everyone's gratitude journey is different, but we hope that you find some peace and joy this holiday season, and especially coming up for Thanksgiving and Native American Appreciation Day.
Yes. Thank you.
I feel like namaste, like we are,
Bye.
like namaste. So bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.